Hey guys, Matt here from Geegances. I'm your host here with Grayson and Ryan. Today we're going to be giving our 2017-18 playoff predictions, and what a season it's been. It's been pretty fun to watch.
Yes, it has. Not for me.
Not for a Sabres fan. Sorry about that, Grayson. It's
we have the
Tank
best
for Darlene.
Yeah, we have the best chance for
Tank for Dawn. Today we're going to give you our playoff predictions, and we're going to start in the Eastern Conference. We're going to go up and down. So we're going to start off with Tampa Bay versus New Jersey. I'm going to give my pick.
Okay.
I think Tampa Bay is going to take this series. Tampa Bay is, pretty much the best team in the league if we go by a lot of different... best team in the East, yeah. Well, best team in the East.
Yeah, they're first in the Eastern Conference.
The first in the Eastern Conference, and with people like Stamkos, Kucherov, Vasilevsky, plus how much they went out during the trade deadline to get JT Miller, as well as Ryan McDonough, yeah. They're looking like a real cup contender, so, it makes sense that they would beat a New Jersey team. However, I think New Jersey's going to put up a fight, so I say Tampa Bay wins in 6 or 5 games, depending on how good Taylor Hall does.
For Tampa Bay versus New Jersey Devils, I think that definitely like what Matt said, I think that the Devils will put up a fight, but I do think that Tampa Bay will win in 5 games and move on.
So I also have Tampa Bay, but they will be winning in 6 games against the Devils. I do think they will put up a fight, but Tampa Bay overall, like Matt said, they're the better team and better coaching, in my opinion. And overall, of course. So I say Tampa Bay takes this one against New Jersey.
Yeah, okay, so we all agree on that. Okay, so next we're going Boston, Toronto. Both teams played really good this year. Boston maybe shouldn't have, because Brad Marchand probably should have been suspended more than he was, just in my opinion, the rat. I think that obviously, you can tell I don't like Boston much, but that did not affect my predictions. But either way, still Toronto taking it. I feel like Toronto will come out of here with an upset. They have a lot of pieces. They're pretty much even to the Bruins, and they've beaten the Bruins most of the time in the regular season. I just think that the Bruins, it's hard to go too far in the playoffs when playing an opponent like Toronto, without being in the playoffs the direct year before. I think Toronto has that experience. Plus, I think Toronto's coaching is better, and Frederik Andersen versus Tuukka Rask. It's going to be a great series to watch. Toronto takes it in 7. Maybe not because they're the better team, but maybe because they're better at winning in this scenario. So I think that they're going to take down the Bruins in 7.
I think that Boston and Toronto, I think that Toronto is going to come out with the win, just because I think that Boston kind of has a bad chemistry, and they kind of get cocky if they make it this far, as shown in their past seasons. But I think that Toronto just has better chemistry and better players. So that's why I think that they're going to go to the second round with the Lightning.
Yeah, Toronto has good chemistry with Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. Good friends. They play a lot of Fortnite.
Couple wins.
I'm not sure how many solo wins. I should ask him.
All right, so for me, I actually have Toronto taking it as well.
Oh wow, we have a similar bracket.
In 6 games, Boston does have 50 wins, but I think Toronto will somehow upset them. And yeah, that's all I really have to say.
I mean, they're both close teams. So next round, we're going into the Metro, and we have ourselves a matchup of the Washington Capitals with Ovechkin and the Columbus Blue Jackets, headed by Sergei Bobrovsky, I guess you could say. For my take on the series, I have the Capitals winning. Capitals usually win in the first round, and they're forced to be reckoned with in all rounds besides the second round. They're a good team. You can't go wrong with Ovechkin, Holtby, Nicholas Backstrom. They lost some depth this year. However, they've definitely had people step up. I think Trotz has definitely a lot of pressure on himself right now, and to not get by the first round would pretty much mean his him being fired, so I'd be very surprised to see him not go past Torts and the Blue Jackets in this matchup, even if, in my opinion, Bobrovsky is a better goalie than Holtby, especially in the playoffs. But I'm going to have them taking it in, let's say 5 or 6. Not a clean sweep, but close enough.
Alright,
For Washington Capitals and Columbus Blue Jackets, I have the Washington Capitals winning because of Alex Ovechkin and how many good players they have playing along with him.
Yeah.
I don't think that the Columbus Blue Jackets will definitely. Well, I do think they'll put up a fight, but I don't think they can pull through with the win, just because of how better the Capitals are.
And just to add one quick note, I forgot to mention, and Grayson reminded me of this. The Blue Jackets, I think the only reason they get that 1 or 2 win is because of the acquisitions they made at the deadline to get Vanek. Who else did they get? They got Ian Cole. Yeah, Ian Cole. So that bolstered defense
I was thinking
and forward group, will really help them. But not enough, obviously.
Well, my prediction is going to go against both of yours. I'm saying the Blue Jackets are going to take this in 7.
7? Okay. That's
I
fair.
think Bob can outbest Holtby, and I also think that Panarin is going to dominate every place on the ice, and so will Alex Vanberg.
If he gets back from his injury,
if he gets back, which I hope he will, according to this bracket. And I just think that the Blue Jackets can just pull one of the biggest upsets probably in the playoffs.
It's definitely not impossible. Alright, so next we move on.
Oh yeah, and especially with the 10 games that they won in a row, they played phenomenally.
I forgot about that, yeah.
So if they can somehow pull that off again, I think they can go far.
I mean, yeah, Blue Jackets, it's not improbable to say that they win. Okay, so next matchup, we have Pittsburgh versus Philly, and what a rivalry, almost, or as great as Boston versus Toronto. 2 teams that generally hate each other, 2 fan bases that generally hate each other, and 2 captains who definitely hate each other. This is going to be fun to watch. I'll watch every game, even if I wasn't a Flyers fan. And I'm really excited to see the Flyers play in this one. They've coming off the season hot, peaking. Although the Penguins, there's a lot of stats against the Flyers. First off, Penguins have swept them this year. Flyers have let up 5 goals every single time, and they haven't been able to figure it out. However, I do have the Flyers taking this one in 7, and do I think it will be close? I think it will be extremely close. I think actually 4 of the 7 games, it will look like Pittsburgh is going to win. Not saying that they'll have all those wins, but it looks like they should be the winning team by how they're playing. However, I think Philly later in the series will step it up. They're a very streaky team, and I think that they'll realize what's going on a couple of games in, and they'll pick up their pace. The addition of Brian Elliott really helps. The Flyers are 2-0 with him. They just got Brian Elliott, so that solves goaltending issues for the most part. And overall, it should be a very high-scoring series, and both teams have really young and good deep cores, so it should be fun. And Flyers, again, in 7.
I think that Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, again, will be very exciting. I'll watch almost every game. But I have Pittsburgh taking this one because even with Philadelphia having Claude Giroux and Brian
Elliott.
I think that they just can't put up to Sidney Crosby and the captain of the team.
Yeah, just playoff Penguins are very big force. Yeah.
Very rough.
Yeah, very well, not rough, but they'll score some. They're not going to beat you up, especially trading away Ryan Reeves.
Especially when you have Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
He's not the one to put on a check or get in the fight.
Yeah, definitely. Without the officials' help. Okay, you ready, Ray?
Yeah. I have the Flyers going to win in 7 games because I think G's a Hart Trophy contender, and I think he could outbest Crosby even though the Penguins do have backup like Gino and Kessel, I think that Voracek and Couturier can overcome that, and the Flyers' young D-core can. Goaltending, with such dynamic like snipers and playmakers with the Penguins, they will be high-scoring games. If the Flyers can put up against Matt Murray, which I think they can, it will be a very good rivalry, back and forth series. But I'm gonna have the Flyers taking it.
In how many games?
In 7.
Okay.
I had 6.
Alright, do we want to complete the East before we move on to the West?
Sure.
Okay. So, in the East, we'll go back to the top. We all had Tampa Bay versus Toronto, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, for me, I had Toronto taking this game, and this is going to shock a lot of people. But let me state my case. The Toronto Maple Leafs, it's more so about Tampa Bay's flaws than it is Toronto's strengths. And this may surprise a lot of people, but Tampa Bay, although all their acquisitions they made have been steadily declining ever since the All-Star break. Even with JT Miller, with everything, they've been losing games to... I saw once they lost a game to the Sabres. That's one I remember particularly.
Me too.
And Grayson can speak to that. That's not a good thing to do. But they've been playing good hockey. Of course, there's a reason why they have as many points as they do and why they have Stamkos, Kucherov, just all those pieces. However, I think that the Lightning are going to take the early lead in this, but Toronto's going to come back, and Toronto is going to win this one in 6. And I think that Frederik Andersen is going to be the MVP in that series, shutting down the door when Vasilevsky can't. And that's not only because of Tampa Bay's flaws and Andersen being, Andersen, but also because of there's usually one or two big upsets, and that's pretty much my big upset in the bracket. So.
With me, I have the Lightning and Toronto, just like everybody else here.
Yeah.
But I have the Lightning taking this W because I think that they're just a better team with chemistry and players. But again, after the All-Star break, they just kind of started falling apart. But I think since they've made it to the playoffs, they're gonna fight way harder and they're gonna pull through.
That's a very good case.
So I'm gonna have to go against that. I'm also going with Toronto. Grayson, did you say they have good chemistry, or?
After the All-Star
Tampa.
break, they kind of
Yeah.
They did
kind of fell apart. But
Yeah.
I do
Well,
think.
yeah, they've slowly been declining, you know.
Yeah, but this is my case. I don't think Tampa has as good chemistry as Toronto
That's a fair
because
point.
of how many deadline moves they made with new players like JT Miller and Ryan McDonough. I don't really think they fit in too well with the system yet.
Well, JT does, definitely. JT's been blowing it up. I'm not sure how I meant there. But.
McDonough is not really, but
Well, McDonough hasn't played too much, to be fair. I think they'll be good during the playoffs. I just think it won't be enough to get them past the Maple Leafs, to be honest.
yeah.
I agree.
And I think Vazdy's a great goaltender. But I think, obviously, I think Anderson can overcome that. And I think that just the speed of Toronto's young players can just fly right by the Lightning to win the series.
Even though the Lightning are pretty fast, if you look at it literally.
Okay. Knee slapper, yes. Okay, next series is, we actually have different things. So I'll start off with mine, which is Capitals versus Philly. I'm going to be very quick here. The Capitals suck in the second round. The second round hates the Capitals. Capitals fans hate the second round. The second round. Pennsylvania teams versus the Capitals in the second round. I had the Flyers beating the Capitals in the second round. I don't care what statistics there are, what anything. It could have been the Penguins. They would have won. It could have been the Buffalo Sabres. The Capitals are going to lose in the second round. That's just the way it will be. So, Flyers move on. And I believe for Grayson, you have, Capitals, Penguins. What do you say there?
So, with Capitals, Penguins, like I said, I think that Pittsburgh will pull through against Philly because they're just a better team. And I think that the Capitals definitely will lose hope in the second round because everybody hates the second round. And I think with Pittsburgh having boosted confidence from their winning 6 games against Philly, I think that they can pull through against the Capitals and take on the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Pens Capitals. Pens take it. Does that seem familiar?
Yeah, it does. For those of you who don't know, the Pens have beaten the Capitals at least 5 times.
At least.
Maybe four. Yeah, I say around 4 times in the second round. It's like a yearly tradition. So now we're gonna move on to our Eastern Conference Finals. No, wait, we're not.
Nope.
Ryan
I
has to
still
do
have
his
to go,
predictions.
yes.
Yep, my mistake.
Since I have Columbus and Philly going at it, I think Philly could pull away with this against Columbus. Obviously, Columbus has been a very good team this year, but they haven't seemed to really beat the Flyers this year, except for like once or twice, maybe.
Yeah, they've been pretty bad against the Flyers.
And I think that the Flyers have Bob's number against him, and I just think they pull away with it.
Alright, so now, I said this wrong before, but now I'm sure of it. Eastern Conference Finals
Yes.
predictions. Okay, my Eastern Conference is Flyers, Maple Leafs. And I'm sorry,
That's fine.
Canadian viewers, I had the Flyers taking this. One may say this is biased, however, it is not biased. The only bias that can come from this is me watching the Flyers a lot, so I know a lot more about them maybe than I do other teams. But I still watch a lot of hockey. I think that Toronto will put up a really good fight. I think Flyers take this one in 7. I think who's really going to come through in this series is Claude Giroux. I think he's just going to light the Maple Leafs up. It'll be interesting to see that JVR dynamic in this series, assuming it happens, since he used to be a Flyer.
Yeah.
I think that it's going to be a really close battle, but I think the Flyers are going to be carrying so much momentum and going a lot farther than people thought they would. So they're going to kind of keep rolling and rolling. While Toronto will feel the same thing, but not as much, because a lot of people do have Toronto ending up in the Cup. And I don't know. I feel like Philly wins this one, not just because of stats, but I also have a really strong gut feeling about it, and I don't know why. But Philly
Maybe
in
it's because
7.
you're a Flyers fan.
Or it's just because I have a gut feeling.
Okay, so
Because
I
of the
have
Flyers.
Tampa Bay Lightning with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, I think that Pittsburgh Penguins are a good team, winning against the Flyers in 6 games and the Capitals, but I just think that they'll get too cocky with their wins, and Sidney Crosby might kind of give up because he thinks he's so good that he can win every single game he goes up with. But I think with Stamkos, I just don't think that Sidney Crosby could put up with him and his speed. Only because that Stamkos just seems to be a better player from watching a few of his games. And I can see his tactics getting better and better as his seasons progress.
That's a very good way of putting it.
So I think that the Tampa Bay Lightning will move up to the Stanley Cup final, only because of the Pittsburgh Penguins' cockiness.
I'm going to have to fight you on that. Not fight you, debate you on that. Or not even debate.
Yeah.
Just give you some knowledge.
The Penguins don't get cocky.
Yeah, the Penguins don't get cocky. I feel
They
like
just get stronger.
they just get stronger and stronger as they go. However, I can see what you're saying where they would get more relaxed.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the better
Especially with
word.
the 2 Stanley Cups behind
Yeah, so they might feel like, oh, we got this. Maybe not like an, oh, we got this, we're better than you. More like an, oh, we got this, we've been here before.
Exactly.
Yes, that might. And also,
Or
I'd
like
say
Sullivan.
Crosby's a better player overall. However, Stamkos with Kucherov, I'd say is better than most combinations in the NHL. So I'll give you that. And
Or
nice
Mike
pick, nice
Sullivan can just keep yelling at them. Like
Could
he
do that.
always does.
Yeah.
That's how they win, I think.
pick, I guess.
All right, Ryan.
Alright, so Flyers, Toronto. This is what I think. This is not a biased opinion because I have Toronto going to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Interesting.
Why so?
I have the young team coming over the other young team, but why I say Toronto? I think Toronto wins in the goaltending battle with Frederick Anderson.
That is very fair, yes.
I think Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews, William Nylander, and a better defensive Toronto core.
And let's not forget Thomas Buchanan.
Yep, and Thomas McKinnon.
Even if he hasn't been producing, you never know.
Marlowe has been a great addition to them, who's just been getting better over the year.
Yep, that's also true.
And I just, sadly, since I'm a Flyers fan, do not think the Flyers could overcome the Maple Leafs. They are just too good.
I see what you did there. Alright, yeah, I think that's very fair.
They're
Okay,
just too good.
so now
Western.
we're moving on to our Western Conference. So, the first matchup in the Western Conference is Nashville versus Colorado. Nashville was amazing last year in the playoffs, mainly in the playoffs. The way they were able to upset the Chicago, the way they were able to take on everyone as the lowest seed and make it to the Stanley Cup Finals was truly amazing. And they find themselves in a similar situation. It's just that they're reversed this time. They're playing the lowest seed. And I think Colorado will put up a good fight. I've been using that, but a good fight meaning I think Colorado will be very, very close, clawing at the Predators as they are the underdog. And they're already starting to use this underdog mentality. However, I think Colorado won't have enough in the net because Pecorine, he's amazing in the playoffs versus Bernier, he is just too good right now. Bernier, who essentially is good, it's just that he isn't elite like Pecorine is. Predators have so much on their decor everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's no holes in this roster. They're like the Lightning they're effectively like the Lightning of the West, except something about them screams Cup to me rather than the Lightning. So I'm going to have the Predators moving on from the Avalanche in 5 games.
Okay, so I have the Preds with Colorado for 4 games. I think that the Preds will definitely win just because of the way they've been playing this season and last season. I just think Colorado kind of got into the Cup without knowing what they're doing because it was just a 1-game difference between them and the Blues. So I think that since they might play better than they did in the regular season, I just don't think they can stand up to the Preds.
That's fair. Alright,
this is the only reason I chose this. It's opposite day. Avs are taking it in 4.
Really?
Yep.
Avs in 4. Okay, that's definitely an upset. Okay, Avs in 4.
That
You heard it here.
Unusual.
If it happens, you heard it here first.
They aren't going to the Cup, though.
Okay. Well, you want to give us your synopsis or why, or just opposite day? Or?
No, it's just because I feel that the Predators, they're honestly going to get nervous, I think, from what happened to them last year, since it's going in reverse this time.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I kind of considered that when I was making my bracket. Like, what if the Chicago effect happens to them? Okay.
Yeah.
So, next we have Winnipeg versus Minnesota. Winnipeg is a surprise this year. They came in second in the Central, one of the most competitive divisions in the NHL. And quite frankly, I had hope for Winnipeg the last 2 seasons. I said Winnipeg is starting to build something great with Blake Wheeler, Patrick Laine, a really, really great and underrated defensive core with Trouba, Tyler Myers, Bufflin. Who else is there? There's some other faces there. And then also in net, Connor Hellebuck, who I really thought was going to be the future, which is why I was really mad when they got Mason, but was very happy when
I was very happy. I
was happy that Mason wasn't on the Flyers, but I was very happy when Connor Hellebuck came into his role finally. And Winnipeg is a great team all around. They really show off that 4-line. They're really the face of that 4-line system, other than Nashville, where all 4 lines are going to go out and give you hell. The defensive core is going to play hard for the goalie, and they really just play hard hockey, and it's really fun to watch. And just for all those reasons, I think they're going to beat Minnesota. But let's get to the flaws in Minnesota. Even though Minnesota's had such a great season, I don't think Eric Stahl can carry them on his back like he's been doing. Devin Dubnyk hasn't been playing elite this year. They've been playing good, but there isn't as much star power as you would wish there. I just think Winnipeg's a better team. Minnesota doesn't win in the playoffs typically. I see them taking it in 5 games.
Alright, Grissom?
I see Winnipeg and Minnesota. Just because Minnesota, they're a really good hockey team. I remember watching a couple of Minnesota games. They definitely had good tactics. But with the Winnipeg Jets just have so many good players that I don't think that Minnesota can go against Winnipeg with pulling out the victory. And so I think that Winnipeg will win in 5.
Oh, nice.
Alright. I'm going with same thing that Grayson has, Winnipeg winning in 5. Obviously, they just have such a good team, such good goaltending. Obviously, as Matt said, Dubnyk is not playing up to his elite form. And this Jets team is just very, very good. And it's very hard to beat them. Because, think about it. They have a great, big, tall defenseman in Dustin Byfuglien. They have a sniper. They have young players such as Jacob Trouba and that sniper that I was talking about, Patrick
Young
Laine.
means fast.
Definitely.
Blake Wheeler,
Especially
who's
Laine.
very, very good at setting up Laine.
And let's not forget about Mark Scheifele also.
Yeah, we cannot forget. I can't forget about Mark Scheifele either.
Yeah, and I just to add on another note,
Hellebuck also has 44 wins. That's most in Winnipeg history, right?
Yeah, franchise for both and the Thrashers. And
Yeah.
I really another note is one of those third line players. I forgot what position he plays, but Joel Armia, I think it is Joel Armia. He is really good, and he just shows off how all 4 lines in Winnipeg can score. So we already move on to the next one. Alright, so next we have, who saw this one coming at the beginning of the regular season besides a few people? The Vegas Golden Knights top seeded against the LA Kings. I have Vegas taking this because not only they went out and got a great guy in Tatar, but they've been good all season. Marc-Andre Fleury is great in the playoffs. They're a really good team overall, coached by the man in charge, Gerard Gallant, who's been able to take all these guys from different teams and mesh them together, create a family, create unity in Vegas. And that's really shown in their play. You have stars like William Karlsson, and although the Kings have been great, Anze Kopitar, just to name a name, and they've really, look, the Kings are going to put up a fight. When you have Quick and Net, when you have all their guys, you're going to see some sort of competitive nature out of the Kings. The Kings are getting older. They have new people like Kempe. Isn't that Kempe? Yeah, Kempe. Kempney, there you go. But it's not enough to replace that aging core that is going to linger in LA. So I really think that Vegas is going to take this one in 6.
All right.
Okay, so I have I'm feeling kind of doubty about Drew Doughty here. So I think that Drew Doughty is a good player, but I don't think his team can go up against the Golden Knights based on how they're playing this season. The Golden Knights, they're definitely becoming a really good team, and I think that since they have all this confidence from making it this far for an expansion team, I think that they're going to pull through against the Knights in 6 games and win.
Wow. So what I have to say is I say the Golden Knights winning the 6. Obviously, it's going to be a great goaltenders matchup with Jonathan Quick and Marc-Andre Fleury. I do not think that the team's going to pull through without one of their stars, Jeff Carter, with an injury.
He's injured?
Yes, he is.
Okay, yeah, definitely Vegas then, yeah.
Kopitar, he's not really going to be able to hold up.
I mean, he's had a great season, though.
He has had a very good
Hard
season.
contention.
But he's not going to be able to. I don't think he's going to be able to get too many shots past
Okay, that.
Fleury. And obviously, Vegas has just had the better team this year. And yeah.
Next, we have the Anaheim Ducks versus the San Jose Sharks, and this is going to be a cool California matchup, like usual in the Pacific Division. I'll get there. The Sharks have been a really good team, and so have the Ducks all year. This is going to be a very competitive matchup, and it should be maybe even one of the best matchups, I think. Very underrated. The Sharks have a lot of firepower, especially with the addition. I really love that trade too for the Sharks. Evander Kane coming to the Sharks. He adds a whole new depth of scoring and really replaces Patrick Marleau, and even maybe does what Patrick Marleau does, but a lot younger. So, used to have Kane? Oh yeah, right, yeah, Buffalo. That was a good trade for you guys also though. But I think the Sharks defensive core is the best part of their team. They have so many good defensemen from the top pairing to the bottom, and that's going to really hurt Anaheim. However, Anaheim has been a team on the rise, and they were really low in the division because of injuries. Now, they were really low, and in February, I did my predictions, or before February, I did my predictions of February. I actually had the Anaheim Ducks rising to second or third, I believe, or maybe wild card, and I was actually very accurate about that, because people forget Anaheim has the same team that went to the Western Conference Finals last year. Sure, Cam Fowler is injured, but still John Gibson, still Getzlaff. They have all those centers, plus a guy who people forget about because the trade happened quite a while back, Adam Henrique, who's been a miracle maker for the Ducks. So for that reason, I have the Ducks taking this one in 5.
Interesting. With the Anaheim Ducks, the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, I don't think that they're going to be too mighty in the playoffs.
I like these puns.
Just because of the San Jose Sharks defense. I don't think that the defense of the Sharks will let the Ducks score goals. So just because of that, I think the Sharks will pull through because of their defense and their better goalie and defense. So, yeah.
It's been a pattern for the past few years, except for 2016. The Sharks tend to like to lose to other California teams in 7 games for the first round.
Fair, yes, that is true.
So,
sorry, Sharks fans.
I have Anaheim winning. First off, they're the higher seed, better team. They have. I know you guys are saying that the Sharks defense is very good, which it is. But think about it. You have Corey Perry, Rickard Rakell.
Rickard Rakell is a very good player.
Yes, he is. Ryan Getzlaff.
Adam Henrique, yeah. Adam Henrique also.
Adam Henrique, yes. This offense is very good. Also, their goaltending. John Gibson, he's been very solid recently.
Definitely.
So, Anaheim is going to pull this away in 7.
That's a very good prediction. Alright, so next round we have, well, depending on who you have, I have Predators versus Winnipeg. And this one, I would have Winnipeg winning in any other way if it wasn't the Predators. If it was Avalanche, if it was any other team, Winnipeg would take this, I think. The Predators are too solid of a team where Winnipeg can beat them, and I think that defense that the Predators have, Pecorine, to me, the Predators seem like a version of Winnipeg that is boosted up on steroids with about a lot of years of playoff experience, and
7 years in Winnipeg.
7 years, yeah, well, Winnipeg has never won a series in the playoffs, so this would actually be the first for us, them winning. So yeah, I have the Predators beating Winnipeg. Both are good teams, but Predators are better. That's my analysis.
I have the same as Matt here. Because of the Predators' solid offense, goaltending, and defense, and Winnipeg's, sure, they're a good team, but I don't think they'll be able to pull out the W from the Predators just because of how good and solid the Predators are, as Matthew said.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, well, mine is Avalanche Jets.
Right, yeah.
So, since the Avalanche versus the Jets, I think McKinnon can put up a strong fight.
That's something to definitely remember.
And Landeskog and Tyson Berry and Bernier, who's been very good for them recently, actually. But obviously Winnipeg has the better team. They're gonna pull away from the series, and move up to the conference finals.
Also, I forgot to mention this. I think the Predators are going to take this in 7 or 6, most likely 7. Alright, so next we have, well, for me, it's Vegas versus the Ducks. I think the Ducks are going to beat Vegas. Vegas playoff experience, I think, is going to show in this match, because this match is going to be long, I think. Both these teams have great goaltending. Both these teams have very good defense. Both these teams have very good offense. And similar to the Philly-Pittsburgh series, I think at times Vegas is going to look like they should really be the team winning this. However, I think Anaheim is going to be the better team and in the end getting the W. So I have the Ducks taking this in 6 games.
For me, I have the Knights and the Sharks, and I think that since the Sharks have a good defense and good goaltending, they don't really have the best offense. So against the Vegas Golden Knights with a good offense, great goaltending, pretty good defense, I just think that the Vegas Golden Knights will overpower the Sharks' defense. Sure, they might be able to hold off for a while, but I think...
Okay, I have the Golden Knights winning against the Ducks. Why I think this is because Vegas has just been solid all year. They haven't really broke at any point in the season. Like I said, Fleury is going to be very good. So obviously Fleury is going to stop this offense of the Ducks. And then Vegas is just going to pull away.
The Western Conference Finals. I have Predators versus Ducks. Rematch of last year, and same result. Predators are going to beat the Ducks. Why? I think that the Predators are over. Time to go duck hunting. Indeed, they actually didn't they give out duck hunting things? Never. That was some other team.
That was the Oilers.
Yeah, I think that was like the Oilers. Right. So I think that the Predators are the better team overall, as I've said for all the matchups so far. Kyle Turris is another name just to throw in there. And I really think that the Ducks are gonna not be able to keep up with the Predators, the speed of the Predators, the endurance of the Predators, the way they are able to play 3 periods of hockey and more effectively. They don't wear out, they don't tear out, and for that reason, plus the Ducks' injuries are going to start showing. The Ducks this year showed it. They can very easily cripple. Cam Fowler's injury, I think, won't really show against Vegas or San Jose as much as it will against the Predators, where you need everyone to step up if you want to beat the Predators in the playoffs. So I have the Predators taking this one in 5.
Good choice. I have the Predators against the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, the Vegas Golden Knights being a new team and all, and a very good team, I just don't think they can pull through against a old great team like the Preds. The reason I say this is because of their outstanding offense and their goaltending.
Plus defense.
Yeah, and their defense is phenomenal. But I just don't think that the Knights will pull through because Fleury hasn't really been too great, but he has stopped many, many goals, and he's got them this far. So has the offense for the Knights. But with the offense from the Knights and the defense and goaltending from the Preds, I just don't think that the Golden Knights can pull through. So I have the Preds going up against the Lightning in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
All right. I have the Jets and the Golden Knights. The 2 new teams. Jets,
2 newest teams.
2
yes.
newest. And I have the Winnipeg Jets winning against the Golden Knights because of although the Jets don't have too much playoff experience, they have been in the playoffs more times, and going this far in the playoffs, I feel like they would
learn a
few new things.
Mm-hmm.
And especially since Vegas's defense is strong, but it's not as strong as the Jets' offense. So I think that Jets obviously can get through that defense, score on Flurry. Hellebuck will be a very good netminder for this round, and another one, which is next. Then Jets win.
Alright, so for my Stanley Cup final, I have the Philadelphia Flyers playing the Nashville Predators, and I think the series is going to be very hard fought. I think that the Predators are going to look like they're about to take it. I think they might be up by 2 or 3, and I think the Flyers are going to come back in the ultimate upset. It's not just because I'm a Flyers fan. It's not just because of bias, even though the Predators are better in every statistical category. It's because of the luckiness, and not just the luckiness, what would you call it? The championships. The championships surrounding Philly right now. No one said the Eagles were going to win. No one said, well, actually, people said Nova was going to win. I just think that it's a magical time in Philadelphia sports, and I really feel like the Flyers would be able to defeat the old underdog in the Predators and do what the Predators couldn't do a year ago only because of a strong Pittsburgh team. And I think that some faces that will help this is Claude Giroux, who will win the Conn Smythe. And I think sometime during the playoffs, probably in the Stanley Cup final, Brian Elliott is going to be injured, and Michael Neuvirth or Peter Mrazek has to come in during at least one game. That's just my prediction. I'm not sure why. I just feel it. I just see it. And I had the Flyers winning in 7 or 6. Most definitely if they ever are going to win in 7.
Your gut feeling.
My gut feeling, yeah. Wow. I'm feeling attacked. What's your Stanley Cup championship?
All right, so I have the Hunters. The
Hunters.
The Hunters. I was gonna make a pun, guys. Idiots.
You ruined it. Okay. Idiots. You don't call the Hunters.
Well, I was gonna make a pun.
Okay.
All right, they got it.
I give up. Okay. Ads.
Don't you just love ads?
Yeah. I have the Nashville Predators against the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I think that the Predators will win the Stanley Cup championship because of their solid gameplay and their tending, their defense, and their outstanding offense. I just don't think that the Tampa Bay Lightning can hold up against the Preds after the All-Star break, just because of Nashville's solid ways and their plays. But the Tampa Bay Lightning will definitely set up a good offense, a good defense, but they just won't protect themselves from the Preds. And I have 8 goals scored, 5 for Nashville, 3 for Tampa Bay.
Okay, so for me, I have the Jets versus the Maple Leafs with 9 goals scored, and I have
9 goals.
9 goals.
Did they sweep them?
No, it's not a sweep. This is going to be a very low-scoring Stanley Cup final, and that's because goaltending.
It is very
Goaltending and defense is critical in here. I mean, you have like Morgan Riley versus Jets' best defenseman. Who's that? Like Jacob Trouba, maybe?
I guess so.
Yeah, Jacob Trouba. And then you have Frederick Anderson versus Connor Hellebuck. And then you have 2 dynamic offenses with Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews, Patrick Marleau.
What about the dynamic defense?
True.
Okay. So the Jets with Laine, Wheeler, and what is it?
Are you talking about Jazz offense?
Yeah, who is it? Oh yeah, Scheifele.
There you go.
My bad. I kept forgetting. We cut that out. Scheifele for whatever reason. Okay, and obviously how it's been going so far. I've been talking a lot about Winnipeg, and I have them winning the cup.
Okay. Well.
So you two have the Predators winning.
I had the Flyers.
Oh yeah, you have the Flyers winning.
Predators.
You have the Predators winning.
Flyers.
And I have the Jets.
And also, you said that you have the Avalanche beating the How about this? If the Avalanche sweep the Predators, I will live stream myself eating a Flyers hat.
What? Eating a Flyers hat?
Wait,
Yeah.
if what happens?
If the Avalanche sweep the Predators, like Ryan says in the first round, I will eat my hat. Not this hat. This is too good. I'll eat a random Flyers hat, which is actually probably worse for me because it's probably dirty. Okay, guys, thanks for watching our video.
That's not even edible.
And that hasn't stopped people before. Well, thanks guys for watching our video. That was our predictions. Our brackets will most likely be down below. If not, don't sue me. We have more videos coming out, even though we've been kind of on hiatus recently. Leave your suggestions down below and check out some of our old videos in the meantime. I've been Matt from Geekinses, signing out. See you guys. Bye.